almost there, isn't it? The final of the World Test Championship, and a team that we in India like to support most times, but which we cannot support now over the next 5 days, starting from the 18th. But we've got some interesting things to chat about, and I'm delighted that my old friend Simon Doull has joined me, though it's tinged with a little bit of jealousy, because look where Simon is sitting. I'm still indoors, we're still in Mumbai, still getting vaccinated, and there's Simon walking outdoors and looking like he's having a lot of fun, Simon.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, Harsha. And I mean, the one great thing that we've had in the early part of the New Zealand tour here in England is the crowds. And to see those crowds back at Birmingham the other day was just fantastic. 18,000. I know that the ICC and ECB, in between New Zealand and the BCCI, they've allowed a certain amount of people in at the Ageas Bowl starting from the 18th, and I can't wait. I mean, we still carry these around, Harsha. Still have to carry this around with me. And when I'm walking through the mall, I'm just in a cafe at the moment, so we haven't been allowed into the quarantine hotel yet. So I'm just chilling at a cafe.
What fun! I hope the coffee's all right. But let's get into this India and New Zealand. For a start, I think there's a bit of a disadvantage for New Zealand in that you almost didn't get tough enough opposition in the build-up against India.
That's very hard. That's a poke at England, isn't it? It's a poke at England. I mean, I still think, though, Harsha, you've got to have played Test cricket. If you've played Test cricket, as in what New Zealand have been doing in the last 2.5 weeks, it's just better grounding than those intra-squad games where they're having a laugh and a joke and letting Rishabh Pant smash hundreds off everybody. I just think that New Zealand's grounding has been so much better than an intra-squad game. I get the feeling we've got the sort of the upper hand on that occasion.
Let's just go back a little bit. I know history doesn't count for very much, so I'm not talking about 1983 World Cup champions, but winning the T20 in 2007, winning the World Cup 2011, winning the Champions Trophy 2013, being indisputably the number one team in the World Test Championship cycle, going to Australia and winning, I think it was 3-0. I think New Zealand lost every game by more than 200 runs in Australia, a series that India won. So you almost get the feeling it's a mountain too high to climb for New Zealand.
Well, you would think that, unless you actually look at the stats and the numbers of India against New Zealand at those very tournaments you've just mentioned. Go back to 2007. I'm not sure India could beat New Zealand, could they? No, they didn't. 15 World Cup? No, I don't think India beat New Zealand. 16 T20 World Cup, was that Nagpur? Which sat in the east? I don't think India beat New Zealand there either. And then 19, what happened I can't remember what happened in 2019. Was that? Oh, that's right. New Zealand won that one as well, didn't they? They did. And then the only time India have lost in this cycle, Harsha, I think, was that the 2 test matches in New Zealand or not? Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like, it's like France winning the Football World Cup and have a little draw somewhere in between. Because I think what we're talking about is a team that knows how to win. You're not beating Australia in Australia, winning against England. A team that knows how to win up against a team bridesmaids.
How can you put it nicely?
You get into finals, but New Zealand haven't won an ICC tournament. I mean, you get into a semi. My feeling is New Zealand look excellent as challengers. The moment you say New Zealand your favourites, oops. So very happy. Everyone loves New Zealand because New Zealand make the finals and lose.
We're not favourites. No, India are well and truly favourites. And, the billion and a bit people behind them, the best team in the world and all of those things. India are well and truly favourites. So we'll happily play the underdog. We quite like playing the underdog. It's nice. We sit way down at the bottom of the earth here and chill out, go about our business. It's quite nice.
I am detecting a little whiff of irony. I wish I could detect the smell of the coffee, but a little whiff of irony. But I'm going to throw you one number, which goes back to what I said right at the beginning about maybe not getting enough of a warm-up to play against India. Since 1999, New Zealand away in tough countries. And so we picked only England, Australia, South Africa, India. New Zealand played, won 2 and lost 34. 1-2, lost 34. I mean, how do you make the World Test Championship if you won 2, lost 34 in the last 20 years?
Well, it's this team, isn't it? Not many of those guys were involved in a lot of those games, and those that were have learned. you're allowed to get better, Harsh. You're allowed to improve. You know, people are entitled to improve and get better, and I think that's just exactly what the New Zealand side have done. I think we want India to feel like they have got it over us. We want India to feel like they're the favourites. We want India to feel like the power, the superpower. We can just quietly nip away like a little chihuahua at the heel.
Chihuahua, it's been interesting. But anyway, okay, let's forget the past. Let's look at this side. What have New Zealand done to come to the final of the World Test Championship? Sneaking into the 2-test series at home? This little 2-test series at home. I won this. Away? Not quite. We win at home and make the finals. And now suddenly you're having to play away. Unless, of course, you brought your weather and pitches to Southampton.
Well, we're hoping that the weather and the pitches are very similar. I think that it's going to be the one little issue that we're worried about, isn't it? It's that weather bomb. It's that issue that we're talking about, a little bit of rain in and around Southampton for a few days. So let's hope that doesn't play its part. Look, New Zealand's form away from home has not been good, but this team, remember, probably should have won at Lords and did win in Birmingham. And so that brings them into this contest, I think, in a great vein of form. They're all going pretty well. I mean, the only little concern possibly are the best player we've got, Kane Williamson, who hasn't travelled well in the last little while and has just missed out on that second test after not scoring runs in the first test. So that's probably our only little bit of concern. But, you know, big moments, big players, they just stand up and I'm sure he'll find something.
Are you being unusually soft-spoken today? Unusually, I say with purpose.
A little bit of both, definitely. Look, it's exciting though. I mean, you must look at it and think that. I'm not sure we all, and I watched that great bit that you did. We weren't sure how this was ever going to work, this World Test Championship, and whether it was going to play out right, whether the point system would work. But I think if you look outside of New Zealand and India, yep, Australia had an opportunity, didn't quite get there. But the best two teams are in the final of the last 2 years. The best two sides are there. It has worked, and let's hope that, you know, we get a final that's just fitting of the occasion. I think is the key, isn't it?
The good thing is that here's two lovers of Test cricket talking about the final of the World Test Championship. And of course, just to remind you, Julie and me will be together every evening after play on Cricbuzz Chatter. We'll have a little friendly banter as we go along. Julie won't be in a cafe. He won't have some coffee in front of him. He'll probably be at the ground. But look forward to it, Julie, and have a great time in Southampton.
Yeah, look, I can't wait, Harsh. And, you know, I'm sure there's a billion people in India that are looking forward to it. There'll be 5 million in New Zealand that will be staying up at midnight trying to watch this test from home. And I can't wait to bring you the coverage and also look forward to the Cricbuzz Chatter.